Hello Leo, my name's Keith Haswell and I'm a professional astrologer with 40 years experience in the business now and over 30,000 clients worldwide. It's my pleasure, Leo, to welcome you to this particular video on your cycles for July and August 2015. Now what I'm going to do for you here, Leo, is I'm going to tell you first of all a few things about yourself. That's always a lot of fun. And then I'm going to look at the movements of Mars and Saturn as they bring stresses and tensions, Mars, and Saturn brings hurdles into your life. And you might say, well, I don't want to know anything about the stresses and the hurdles, but they're vital. They're created by yourself to jump those hurdles and overcome those stresses. You're developing qualities, principles, and values within yourself, Leo, in which you wanted to work and develop. So that's very important. And then I'm going to look at the movements of the Sun, Venus and Jupiter as they move through the houses of your horoscope. They bring joy and expansion and success and social intercourse and so forth into your life. Love. There's no need for me to speak a lot about myself. I've got 160 YouTube videos up there now on all aspects of personal and spiritual growth, and no doubt you've probably seen one of those. And you've come here to this particular video to get an understanding of where you're going from here, and you're ready now to make a gigantic step forward in the expansion of your consciousness. Leo, you are a very self-conscious person, tremendously aware, awake and alive. You're like the lion, sitting up there on top of the mountain looking down over the herd and wondering which one you're going to go and get, and never missing a beat. And you're very meticulous as far as money is concerned, very meticulous and fastidious about every detail as far as money is concerned. You really love the social side of life, especially with those that are close to you, like relatives and neighbours. You could even have a partner in your life that you met through a relative or in your neighbourhood. And you have a chance of living near the water at some time in your life. And there's some sort of mystery, Leo, connected with your family background, your family history. Well, that's enough about yourself anyway. Just I want to look now at the various activities that are going on with the movements of these planets through the houses of your horoscope. But before I do, I just want to point out, Leo, that you are primarily a spiritual being, okay? You're on a journey in consciousness which has taken you through dozens and dozens of lifetimes to get where you are today. And you are primarily a spiritual being. You are not a human being with a spiritual aspect to yourself. You are a spiritual being expressing yourself through the human kingdom at this stage in your development, but primarily you are a spiritual being, and all of us, Leo, are living in a giant spiritual classroom. And it's like a place where we can have tests and trials, and we can grow and reach and stretch depending on the decisions and choices that we make. I'll cover more about this as I go on further in your reading, but let's look first of all at what's going on with the movements of your planets. Now, first of all, I'm going to put it on a timeline. So I'll tell you what's happening on the 1st of July, where Mars is and where Saturn is. And they're the stresses and tensions and the hurdles and obstacles that you've set for yourself. You've set for yourself, Leo. No one's done it to you. But you wanted to be able to jump these hurdles and handle these stresses and tensions. Now, Mars starts off in the 12th house of your horoscope on the 1st of July, Leo. With Mars in the 12th house of your horoscope to start the month off with, you can be your own worst enemy. You can have a lot of stresses and tensions that you're not openly discussing with other people. And you can be self-sabotaging in certain ways. You can get involved in secret relationships and things like that as well. Self-undoing is the 12th house. Now then Mars moves into the 1st house of your horoscope on the 9th of August. On the 9th of August, when Mars moves into the first house of your horoscope, Leo, it's going to introduce a lot of energies into your personal self-initiated efforts. So you can be rather impulsive. You can start and commence projects and ideas which are based on impulse and not thought out properly. So just think very carefully before you commence and start new projects and ideas. You'll have headaches potentially, and there'll be potential also for stresses and tensions to do with your personal self-initiated efforts, okay? Now that's all there to do with Mars. Now Saturn happens to be retrograde, and Saturn retrograde impacts negatively upon two houses that Saturn rules. Not so much the house that it sits in, but the house that it rules. And it rules the 6th and 7th house in your horoscope. The 6th house is the house of health, so there's a few obstructions and obstacles there connected with your health during this period starting from the 1st of July until I tell you that there's a change, and that impacts upon job matters and health and dietary matters, matters relating to domestic pets. There's some frustrations there connected with people that you work with and things like that, so you set yourself a few obstacles and obstructions there connected with the employment side of things. And also the 7th house of your horoscope, that's the house of your partner and your spouse, the other half, what you might say. So your partner and your spouse, if you have one, that is going to be an area of difficulty for you in regard to them being a bit possessive and restrictive and limiting in their nature. Frustrations connected with the legal side of life is there potentially, with Saturn impacting negatively upon the 7th house of your horoscope. Then on the 4th of August, Leo, Saturn starts going direct. And when it goes direct, it starts impacting upon the house that it's sitting in. Saturn is sitting in, by transit, is sitting in your 4th house of your horoscope. So therefore, the balance of the month is going to see frustrations there to do with family matters and domestic matters, property matters, and all matters relating to those who cohabitate with you in the home. You might find there's some sort of obstacles or hurdles that you've set up for yourself, Leo, during this particular period, okay? Now I'm going to look at the movements of the Sun, Venus and Jupiter through the houses of your horoscope, Leo. On the 1st of July, you've got the Sun in the 12th house of your horoscope. That means that the whole of your personality focus is upon introspection and reflection, solitude, and delving into the deeper aspects of yourself, that part of yourself which is trying to sidle up to the divine and gain the benefits from solitude, introspection and reflection. Now Venus is in the 1st house of your horoscope on the 1st of July, and they remain there until I tell you that there's a change, so it's on a timeline for you. Venus in the 1st house of your horoscope makes you very outgoing in your affections, Leo, expressive of your affections and your love. There's a great deal of happiness for you on the social side of life, and you'll be very, very loving and affectionate with everybody around you. You'll love music and artistic and creative things. You'll be wanting to get out and about and circulate with people, and if you're in the market for a relationship, this can be the timing of a commencement of a new relationship. You'll just be so much affectionate and so loving in your nature during that particular time. And then Venus moves into the 2nd house of your horoscope, Leo, on the 19th of July, and it remains there for 2 or 3 weeks. With Venus in the 2nd house of your horoscope, that's the house of finances. So it's going to improve your finances for 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to see you also wanting to get out there and spend. So you're going to be wanting to spend money, to buy things, to purchase things, and it's going to bring a lot of joy for you through the things of the earth too, the material things of the earth, but it'll also make you feel emotionally and mentally a bit more secure as well, because of the fact that you're very loving and you're really enjoying life and you're enjoying the wonders of life, okay? Then on the 24th of July, Leo, the Sun moves into the first house of your horoscope and remains there for 30 days. The Sun is constant and goes regularly, so it's there for 30 days in the first house of your horoscope from the 24th of July. With the Sun in the first house of your horoscope, it's a good time for commencing and starting new projects and ideas. The whole of your personality drive is focused upon getting things going, getting things started, and being able to commence and start new projects, ideas. You'll have a sunny disposition, you'll be outgoing in your affections, and you'll really feel as if you're on top of the world. Then on the 27th of July, Venus starts going retrograde. Now when Venus is retrograde, it doesn't negatively impact on the houses that it rules. It impacts in this way that Venus in retrograde impacts to the point where you're going to be overdoing it, connected with those two houses. Now Venus in your case, Leo, rules the 3rd house and the 10th house, so therefore you'll probably be overdoing it socially with relatives, neighbours and those close to you, and you'll be overdoing it socially connected with the career and your ambitions. So parents can come into the equation here if they're alive, and with Venus impacting their area of your ambitions and career and business, there's a lot more social involvement with career and business, but to the point of perhaps overdoing it. And just be careful of your spending in terms of business expansion and things like that too, because you can overdo it a little bit there, okay? Now then the last one that we have is the 23rd of August. The 23rd of August, the Sun moves into the 2nd house of your horoscope and for 30 days sees a focus of your personality, Leo, upon finances and matters relating to your sense of security. Not just security financially, but also security to do with your emotional nature and your mental nature, to feel safe emotionally and mentally, okay? Now we look at Jupiter for you, Leo. Jupiter is a major beneficial influence wherever it sits, and Jupiter starts off the month in the 1st house of your horoscope. So up until between the 1st of July and the 12th of August, there's potential for you for travel, distant travel. You'll have a philosophical outlook on life during this time, and you'll want to be expanding your understanding about things. So you're strongly attracted towards things like what I'm promoting here, your expansion of your consciousness, expansion of your understanding. You can do that through travel, you can do that through study, research and investigation, adult education, philosophies and research and investigation into alternative religions and all sorts of things like that. And then on the 12th of August, Jupiter changes into a different house. It moves into the 2nd house of your horoscope and remains there for the balance of this period that we're looking at, July and August. With Jupiter in the 2nd house of your horoscope, Leo, there's going to be a boost for you financially. Things are going to go well for you financially, and you'll feel a lot more secure. You'll really be making some major purchase during this time, I would suggest. Now, Leo, you are a spiritual being, okay? You've got an imagination, and imagination is a language. It's the language of the soul. Now, I've got a video called The Meaning of Your Dreams, and I want you to watch that video and to get that into yourself, because that will inspire you to become more of who you really are. You are a giant spiritually. The fact that you are watching this particular video means that you are attracted towards astrology. You are to be congratulated for that. Look, to be attracted towards astrology means that you are on the crest of the wave of evolution, Leo. And you've got an opportunity there through the science of astrology, which science poo-poos and says that these are just blobs of matter out there and have no impact upon our lives here on Earth, which you can prove to yourself 100% that that is absolutely wrong. Simply by getting your horoscope number 3 done by me. That horoscope number 3 is with my voice, and I bring 40 years of experience to bear upon your life and your cycles over the next 3 years or so, and I help you to understand so much more about yourself. All of my 40 years of experience is brought to bear to steer you through the rapids and the stresses and the tensions and the hurdles, and to take full advantage of the opportunities in all areas of your life with my voice, with beautiful backing music. And if I'm able to tell you things about the past, when you had changes in your job, changes in your residence, journeys overseas, bouts of sickness, deaths in the family, accidents, even where you got scars on your body, that has a big impact if that's correct. If that's correct, that has a big impact upon you, and you say to yourself then, wow, I've got to delve deeper into this astrological stuff, because that means that the planets are not just blobs of matter as science says, but they are centers of force, consciousness units, beings of consciousness who've moved beyond the human level altogether. Look, there's just so much there to learn, Leo, and I suggest that you get your horoscope number 3 done by me if you can afford it. If you can't, get horoscope number 2, and then you get horoscope number 1 thrown in free of charge, which looks at your cycles in written format, about a 10-page printout, looking at your cycles over the next 30 months, progress moon cycles and other things. And then you also get horoscope number 2, which is a beautiful 20-page printout, Leo, all about yourself and the tests and trials that you've set up for yourself in this particular lifetime, and the opportunities and what qualities, principles and values that you've developed from past lifetimes. It's just such a wonderful 20-page printout there in that horoscope number 2. Start listening to my CDs. I've got 12 CDs available from my website in the free CD section, and you can download them and listen to them. That's out of my first book, What Really Matters on Astrology, Meditation and Reincarnation, and get stuck into them. And then when you finish them, you can go into intensives 2 and 3 if you've paid for your horoscope number 3. You get intensives 2 and 3, which is another 24 CDs out of my deeper book, Coming Home: An Eternal Journey. So there's just so much there, Leo, to learn about the nature of reality and your place in that reality. Keep on watching my videos, subscribe to my videos, because I'm pumping out new videos all the time on all aspects of personal and spiritual growth. And it's just so nice to have this opportunity to be able to talk with you and to help you to become more of who you really are, okay? So use that imagination, understand that that's a language. You can learn the science of meditation, and you can learn how to be able to program the events and conditions in your life according to the law of economy and the law of cause and effect. So it's nice to have this opportunity, Leo, to be able to help you and to lift you into a little bit of an extra inspiration there. And I look forward to working further with you should you decide to go further and have your horoscope number 3 done by me. Thank you.